This Pride Month, our story, our history is celebrating the people and businesses supporting the LGBTQ+ community. Tonight, Cheryl Mercedes introduces us to a man who has gone from, listen to this, designing costumes in Vegas to designing for NASA and the Johnson Space Center.
He is leading a team tasked with creating the next generation spacesuit.
Astronauts are headed back to the moon, and to do that, they are going to need a new suit. A team of engineers, seamstresses, and specialists in the soft goods lab at Axiom Space is on the job.
Okay, cool.
Zach Paugh is the technician lead.
We have to build a spacesuit that is essentially a personalized spacecraft with its own atmosphere, with its own pressure, with its own water system that can sustain the person that is exploring for up to 10 hours.
Creating that takes a level of precision that can only be achieved by hand.
Shifting this entire piece.
Paugh's attention to detail was tailored in theater. Before coming to Axiom, he designed costumes for Cirque du Soleil in Las Vegas.
I maintained the shoes on the show, learned how they built their processes, learned how to paint, learned how to work with hats, learned how to work with a variety of materials and use a variety of machines.
When the pandemic hit, the curtains closed and Paugh was without a job. But he soon landed in Space City working at the Houston Ballet. Then the stars aligned.
I looked through all the qualifications and saw that the requirements for a spacesuit sewing technician are the same requirements as working in costumes for theater. And so I said, I'm going to do this.
You could say Paugh began positioning himself for the astronomical task at the young age of 7, when he started designing costumes on a broom. Then the Star Wars fan began making his own for cosplay events and drag shows. For Paugh, the sky was the limit.
I've always moved through life thinking that I really didn't need a plan because my skill set and my ability to work with people will catapult me into places that I never have imagined before.
As a gay man, he says sometimes it also meant taking a leap of faith.
When I first came to aerospace, I was a little bit nervous to arrive authentically and be myself as a queer individual. But working here at Axiom Space, I've received nothing but support.
The transition, he says, was seamless.
At the end of the day, it feels like I'm back in theater sometimes.
This mission may be different, but Paugh says the thread is ultimately sewn in a similar fashion.
Nice. This is great.
For this mission to launch, this team must arrive at a flawless finish.
It's a level of achievement that I don't think I've experienced before, and it's exciting.
Artemis 3 is scheduled to carry American astronauts, including the first woman of color, to the moon in 2026. The Axiom soft goods team is also making the flag that the astronauts will plant at the lunar South Pole.
That's incredible.
It really is.
I'm going to call that an out-of-this-world production that he is preparing for. I love that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I love when he spoke about, not really having a designated path, but his talent in working with people, taking him to different places, spaces, and new heights.
I can do costumes. I can do spacesuits.
Absolutely.
Bring it on.